In your headlines, the Turks and Caicos Islands will play host country for the 52nd annual meeting of the Board of Governors. Heads of 4 leading multilateral development banks will tackle the pressing matter of securing extensive financing. And migrant work permit renewal applications are for the first time no longer required to present a health clearance certificate. From the PTV Broadcasting Headquarters in Providenciales, your number one source for news, I'm Erica Pinales, delivering the latest from across the country this Wednesday, June 1st, 2022, right to your door. Newswatch starts now. The Turks and Caicos Islands will play host country for the 52nd annual meeting of the Board of Governors of the Caribbean Development Bank 2022. We bring you the details. Scheduled to take place virtually from today, June 1st to June 10th and June 13th to the 16th on Providenciales under the theme Measure Better to Target Better, Adaptation and Resilience. Over 200 delegates, including government ministries and officials, private sector representatives, members of civil society, academia, and media, are expected to attend the meeting. The program for this year's meeting, as we gather, focuses on the greater use of knowledge-based decisions, making and addressing the region's economic and environmental challenges. Proceeding to June 13th to the 16th, stakeholders will participate in strategic discussions during a seminar series on June 1st on regional food security, streamlining logistics to bring products to market, global sustainable development and net zero agendas and its impact on Caribbean energy transition, and the President's Chat series, which will examine current trends in innovative financing for sustainable development that features the presidents of the African Development Bank, Caribbean Development Bank, European Investment Bank, and Inter-American Development Bank. The meeting that will be held under the chairmanship of the Honorable Charles Washington Mizik, Premier of the TCI and CDB Governor for the British Overseas Territories, as Newswatch learns, has a substantive agenda that covers a wide range of ideas on topics with a specific focus on sustainable development. The William G. Demas Memorial Lecture, a signature event where distinguished speaker Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, president of the African Development Bank, will provide the keynote address. Youth Outreach Program, whereby the bank will engage directly with Turks and Caicos Island youth on sustainable development issues. During the meeting, the bank is also to convene a seminar measuring vulnerability and resilience for small states, the Recovery Duration Adjuster. The CDB's annual meeting of the Board of Governors is held annually in one of the bank's 29 member countries. This official gathering is the organization's flagship forum for discussion among the institution's governors and sector leaders. Stay tuned for a look into the first meeting of the CDB's 52nd annual event in a subsequent newscast. It seems not everyone believes that our national hero's legacy is being carried on as it is proclaimed. Newswatch with the latest. May 30th, as we know it, is celebrated as Jags McCartney Day, or Heroes Day, to commemorate the Turks and Caicos Islands' first and only national hero. The name Jags carries heavy weight wherever it is mentioned, as he was instrumental in the establishment of the ministerial form of internal self-government in the islands. Another of Honorable McCartney's notable achievements was his effort in the development of the Club Med Hotel to assist the Turks and Caicos economy during a time when the British government sought to restrict assistance to the islands. He made representations to the United Nations on behalf of his people in order to jumpstart this development in the country. McCartney was reputable for his kindness and bravery, his uncanny ability to relate to all persons, and his ability to see beyond political affiliation will never be matched by another politician. Many stories are told of where he helped people recover their property which was unfairly taken and ensure that the poor and disenfranchised rights were upheld. He helped many people no matter who they were and where they were from, and he defended all Turks and Caicos Islands. However, many persons believe that what we hear of the hero's legacy being carried on is nothing but mere, empty, meaningless words. On May 30th, as many persons on social media shared feelings of gratitude and country pride, expressing that the legacy that Jags created is being preserved and upheld, others weren't really in agreement. As Newswatch dissected 2 particular comments that were made by individuals on the media, seemingly, they are not in agreement with what the rest of the country believes is being upheld, saying, quote, "Jag, sir, your greatness has not been upheld nor carried on. There was an attempt once, but just as in your demise, We were accomplices in its fall. We have not yet recovered and continue to regress in every possible way." End quote. As the country celebrated loudly and unapologetically as they saw fit, other persons said they were choosing to celebrate him in silence, saying, quote, "As we Turks and Caicos Islanders often celebrate bravery, something of which we are no longer familiar, in no true meaningful way, not with true knowledge and from our heart, but rather ceremoniously and empty, as our queen would have taught us." End quote. Stay tuned for more of this story in a subsequent newscast. It's time for a quick break. More News Watch when we return.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to News Watch. Migrant work permit renewal applicants are for the first time no longer required to present a health clearance certificate along with their renewal application. Minister of Health Honorable Jamal Robinson tells us more.
As of today, Tuesday, June 1st, the need for a migrant health certificate for the work permit renewal process has been suspended for the next 3 months, ending on Wednesday, August 31st.
What it is for the renewals of the migrant health, for renewal of work permits. So the majority of persons who would have a work permit would have already gone through the process in the initial, right? And so on the renewal, they would normally have to get a new updated migrant health certificate as a part of that process. So what we're doing is we're made the judgment that, okay, well, we know the majority of those persons aren't likely to be a part of the fraudulent ring that might have been taking place, or that is taking place, or that has taken place. So we're giving a 3-month moratorium to allow those persons to move their application for renewal of work permit without having that requirement.
The Migrant Health Department was forced to close due to an investigation launched into the submission of fraudulent health certificates and a malfunction in the system's database, which may have been a result of tampering.
Anybody after that point, whether it's renewal, first time, everybody will have to go through the process. And that also helps us to mitigate any potential backlog that we'll face because of the 2 months that we would have already been down.
The Migrant Health Department reopened after that short closure on Tuesday, May 31st.
Heads of 4 leading multilateral development banks will tackle the pressing matter of securing the extensive financing required to meet sustainable development goals in the 3rd edition of the Caribbean Development Bank's President Chat. Here's the details. For the high-level virtual summit, CDB President Dr. Hyginus Jean Leon will be joined by Dr. Akinwumi A. Adesina, President of the African Development Bank, Mr. Mauricio Claver Carone, President of the Inter-American Development Bank, and Dr. Werner Hoyer, President of the European Investment Bank. Guided by the theme Innovative Financing for Sustainable Development, What Can NDBs Do? The President's Chat will explore the expanding role of the private sector in the development finance landscape. The discussion will examine how MDBs can create investment opportunities that will attract private financing for ventures that contribute to sustainable development outcomes. The dialogue will also allow the MDB's heads to share success stories and lessons learned for takeaways that can shape approaches to common challenges and issues that may be unique to particular regions. CDB President Dr. Jean Leon said, "Achieving the SDGs will require an innovative approach to financing, and MDBs must take the lead in forging regional and international partnerships to mobilize private sector financing for ventures that drive sustainable development for us to achieve the best future for the countries and people we serve. I look forward to the exchange with my fellow presidents and to continued collaboration to move beyond dialogue to action." Dr. Akinwumi A. Adesina said, "The African Development Bank has been at the forefront of mobilizing financing to drive Africa's COVID response, ensure food security, promote climate resilience, and accelerate the sustainable energy transition for our countries. A discussion such as this will provide a forum for us to share the effective solutions we have implemented and lessons we have learned from our experience, even while gaining insight from our partners in the global MDB community." End quote. IDB President Mauricio Claver Carone said, "Accelerating inclusive, sustainable growth in the Caribbean is imperative. At the IDB Invest, and IDB Lab, our innovation laboratory, we are ushering in a new 21st century business model to boost investment in the region and maximize the potential of public and private sector partnerships. This will help correct market failures and structural bottlenecks while improving entrepreneurial ecosystems that incentivize job creation. We also declare 2022 to be the year of the Caribbean, and we expect to triple financing for the region to a record $1.3 billion this year. Dialogue and collaboration are at the center of our work as MDBs, and only by working together alongside the private sector can we help the Caribbean achieve its sustainable development goals and create a more prosperous region. So I am grateful to President Leon and the Caribbean Development Bank for hosting this important conversation." President of the EIB, Dr. Werner Hoyer, said, "The European Investment Bank places strong emphasis on collaboration, and it is through our partners with MDBs and other institutions that we have been able to support adaptation, invest in countries most affected by climate change." This discussion among MDB heads will give us an opportunity to share with stakeholders in the Caribbean and wider international community how each institution is addressing current common challenges so we can chart the way for even deeper collaboration going forward. The discussion among MDB presidents will be of particular interest to the international development community, the global finance sector, as well as the national planning institutions, policymakers, and government officials across the Caribbean. CDB is also encouraging economists, business interests, industry leaders, academics, and tertiary students in related disciplines to participate in the virtual event. The President's chat will be streamed on the bank's social media platforms, and online participants will have the opportunity to pose questions to the presidents. Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. Coming up next is your weather forecast.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Today, Wednesday, June 1st, marks the beginning of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season that has been predicted to be an above-normal one. As such, DDME hosted a joint press conference to speak on the opening of the season. Newswatch has your details.
The 2022 Atlantic hurricane season is here, and as customary, everyone is being encouraged to prepare. The Department of Disaster Management and Emergencies held a joint press conference to mark the opening of the season and to bring very important information to the public domain. The press conference began with remarks from the Minister with responsibility for the Department of Disaster Management, Honorable Arlington Musgrove.
My fellow Turks and Caicos Islanders, marks the beginning of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. Forecasters predict an above average season with possible 14 to 21 named storms, 3 to 6 of which likely develop into major hurricanes. The high number of storms predicted increased the possibility of storms making landfall and impacting the TCI because of our location within the hurricane belt. Therefore, we must amplify and remain in a state of readiness. I urge you to be proactive in preparing for severe weather.
DDME's acting director Michael Clairvaux says he and his team are already monitoring a system off the coast of Mexico.
Today is the first day of the 2022 hurricane season, and already we have 2 systems developing. One is the remains of the Hurricane Agatha off the coast of Mexico, and the other disturbance to the north of the northern Bahamas chain. While these 2 systems do not pose any imminent threat to the Turks and Caicos Islands, but it is a clear indication that we need to be prepared for this hurricane season.
Officials say shelter inspections have been completed and the 2022 list is available.
Shelter inspections throughout the islands has been completed. We have a total of 23 shelters listed, 17 primary shelters, and 6 secondary shelters. Please note, not all shelters will be open at the same time. Opening of the shelters will be staggered based on the situation. A detailed list of all the shelters will be posted on DDME's platforms, social media, DDME Alert app, and website.
Other developments are presented in the form of 63 new members trained in shelter management, the undertaking of communication testing material, and training of responding agencies with communication materials and devices, as well as the undertaking of a simulation exercise with SEDEMA, airport officials, and Carib Wave. A subsequent newscast will bring the latest from Developmental Control Engineer of the Planning Department on preparedness and prevention measures, Assistant Maintenance Manager of Public Works on improvements to flood mitigation strategies, and a presentation from meteorologist Holly Hamilton. Officials are encouraging you, the public, to download the DDME Alert mobile app created to bring information and important updates to your fingertips. From anything on eyewitness reports, information on shelters, flood and storm surges, and more. Newswatch will have more in a subsequent newscast.
Here's your weather forecast for June 2nd, 2022. For the nation's capital, Grand Turk, on Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, high 84, low 79, winds southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. For South Caicos, mostly cloudy skies, high 84, low 79, winds southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. For North and Middle Caicos, mostly cloudy skies, high 85, low 79, wind southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For Parrot and Pine Key, mostly cloudy skies, high 85, low 79, wind southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And on Providenciales, mostly cloudy skies, high 85, low 79, wind southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise 6:07 a.m., sunset 7:30 p.m., and for your high tides and low tides, high tides 10:26 a.m., 10:40 p.m., and low tides 4:30 a.m., 4:15 p.m. And for your hurricane outlook, a weak surface trough located around 200 miles northeast of the central Bahamas is producing disorganized shower activity as it interacts with an upper-level trough. Surface pressures are currently high across the area, and significant development of this system appears unlikely as it moves generally east-northeastward over the next several days away from the southeastern United States. And that's it for your weather forecast and hurricane outlook. We'll be right back for more Newswatch.
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future. I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
This story has so much valid information that we thought we'd run it again just in case you missed it. Higgs is a past student of the Raymond Gardner High School, where, believe it or not, she studied culinary arts. After completing high school, Higgs furthered her studies at the community college in Providenciales, where she gained the passion of writing.
In my second semester, I wasn't so much busy, and I was looking towards a side hustle. So I basically Googled some ideas, and then I saw where they had digital marketing, and I got the idea.
Culinary arts to writing is a big switch in interest, one might say. Higgs tells Newswatch that she wanted to test her skills, and so she did.
Writing a book, when I got the idea, it was like a little bit frustrating because, after you write the book, you have to edit it on Amazon. And Amazon kind of have this little app where they tell you if you're going over the margin or how much words you need to have. And they also tell you a specific layout your book's supposed to be in, as well as the cover page and the color. So every now and again, they would tell me I had an error, and I had to go on back and fix it and then submit it again, fix it over again. So it's getting a little bit frustrating.
Higgs revealed to Newswatch that she had to really have a debate with herself on choosing what idea she wanted to run with for the book. But narrowing it down to just one was so hard, as she said.
I had about 3 ideas. And one of those ideas was an alphabet book. So I was when I Googled and I see how much people was doing alphabet book, I was my book have to stand out because there's so much alphabet book. So I didn't submit the book. So I started writing the book, and Tim and Emily wasn't really the title. The title of my book was He's a Boy and She's a Girl. But when you read the story wasn't matching the title. So I had to finish, play around and look for the title of my book. So then my cousin gave me the idea, and she was like, why just not call it Tim and Emily? Because she's a boy. I mean, she's a girl and he's a boy. Didn't really fit the description of the book.
The story, as Newswatch learns, is about a pair of siblings who have very contrasting personalities. Higgs believed that this would resonate with children.
The book is really about 2 siblings whose names are Tim and Emily. And you have Tim, who shares a very totally different personality from Emily. Tim is all about, taking on the world and, fighting off bullies and saving the world by night and playing Roblox with his friends. And he also encouraged children to eat their vegetables, take their vitamins, brush their teeth, do their daily chores. While you have Emily, she's a little bit shy, and she is afraid of growing up because, when you're growing up, your parents hand down some of the chores for you to do by yourself, and certain things you have to do by yourself. So she's a little bit afraid about doing that.
From this book, Higgs said that she wanted all kids to be represented and encouraged to step out of their comfort zones to try new things.
I want kids to feel inspired, I want them to be encouraged to eat their vegetables and do certain stuff, take the initiative to do certain things without their parents having to tell them. And also I want them to like just go out their comfort zone, like how Tim is going out of his comfort zone to like eat his vegetables and, fight crime, even though he's just like 9 years old.
Higgs has shared her creation with the students of schools in North and Middle Caicos, saying that she's looking forward to engaging even more children island-wide.
It was really overwhelming because, some kids, they were like enjoying the story, laughing, and they couldn't wait to like color the pages that I have at the back of the book.
Higgs says that overall, the feedback from her community, family, and peers has been nothing less than positive.
Yes, I have. Overall, everything has been positive. Everybody told me that, you need to make a next book and there need to be a part 2 for Tim and Emily. And I have told them that I'm working on it.
Finally, Higgs revealed that we can look forward to a new book from Pandera Higgs under culinary arts, then giving thanks to everyone who helped her on her journey.
I would like to say a special thanks to my teacher, Ms. Anderson. She was my literature teacher in high school. She's the one who really pushed me because in high school, I didn't really like to read. Like, I like reading, but what I would do, I would skim through pages and like summarize it. And she was like, that's not how reading goes. So I would like to thank her for like giving me, guiding me through and also having the patience to deal with me. And also my family.
Due to the recent rainfall throughout the Turks and Caicos Islands, the Environmental Health Department advises residents, homeowners, apartment owners, and businesses to remove all debris, garbage from their premises and dispose appropriately at the public landfill or solid waste disposal sites on your respective island. The removal of debris and refuse or garbage from your premises will reduce mosquito breeding and prevent mosquito-borne and other vector-borne diseases such as the dengue fever. We gather that as the Vector Control Unit of the Environmental Health Department continues to monitor and treat mosquito breeding sites, homeowners, apartment owners, and business owners are advised to treat standing water on their premises by using cooking oil or any other environmentally friendly oil to prevent mosquito breeding. It is anticipated that mosquito populations and activities will increase over the coming weeks, and it is important to remind residents that mosquito control is a shared responsibility. Residents and businesses can help reduce the growth and reproduction of mosquitoes in and around their homes, businesses, and communities by taking the following precautionary measures. Check around buildings for anything that could hold water. Inspect your home and yard weekly. Turn containers over or cover them. Get rid of or cover old tires. Properly dispose of all garbage or refuse. Cover boats, children's pool, etc. Clean rain gutters and make sure they're flowing properly. Check screens for holes, tightly cover water drums and rain barrels. For more information, contact the Environmental Health Department. And that brings us to the end of this edition of The Real News. I hate to leave you so soon, but of course, you can join us right back here every weekday at 6:30 p.m. and tap into our social media platforms at www.ptv8tci.com. I'm Erica Penales, keeping you informed, updated, and affiliated. Until next time.